All right, my dear fellow Western patriots, this video is for all of you, whether you're a Christian or a white or a black or a brown or someone who has an immigrant background like myself. If you put Western civilization at the very top, then you need to understand what is happening because the survival of this civilization is at stake here. This great civilization is under attack on multiple fronts. On the one hand, the communists are coming for the West. On the other hand, China is coming for the West. And then you have the Islamists. I have more respect for the Chinese because they are fighting it the way they should fight. On the battlefield, none of this sneaky way of coming in, populating, corrupting the society from within, although that has been done in the past before, and we will do that too to them. We'll do it. It's the nature of warfare. But the Islamists are the most cowardly out of all. They can't build armies. They can't build functioning societies. They can't compete with the West. You can see what's happening to them in Iran. Yes, we cannot completely subdue them, thanks to some modern drone technologies and whatnot, but they're getting destroyed out there, okay? They're getting destroyed and they are hated by their own people. So they may not be able to defeat us in the open battlefield, but they have something else up their sleeve. They have infiltrated Western countries. There are close to 50 million Muslims living in Europe. At the turn of the century, the number was only about 500,000. In America, their number has grown to 8 million people. Some people put that number at 5 million. Some people put the number at 10 million. Doesn't matter. Their number is growing and they know it. And they have already laid out the framework, how they are going to subdue the West from within. Remember, they can't do anything from the outside. They're trying. They tried Gaza. They're trying Iran is now trying. They can't do it. They can't do it. Losers. So have a look at this. Look what they're doing now. Listen to this Islamic imam.
Our biggest weakness is our percentage in this country.
In America only, by the way. And America, all eyes are on you. The whole of Western civilization's future is in your hands. Unfortunately, the Brits and the French and the Germans, they're in some dire straits, to say the least, okay? My country, Australia, is too small, but we will try to hold this part of the world, okay? But you, America, you bring the muscle to the table. They fear you the most. So listen to it.
In this country, we are very disadvantaged. By the way, this is only in this country because across the Western world, mashallah, tabarakallah, percentages are rising to the point of it's terrifying them.
It's terrifying us. It should be terrifying you.
Sweden, 10% Muslim.
Allah.
Oslo, Norway, 10% Muslim. Oslo, of all places. Vienna. The Ottoman Turks tried 200 years, they couldn't do anything. Vienna is 10% Muslim. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. 10% Muslim. England, London, it is estimated 20%. I was in Australia a year and a half ago. Australia. Sydney, there are districts the size of maybe half of Austin that are 60% Muslim.
Yeah. So they know their strengths, they know their weaknesses, and they have a clear roadmap. They're determined, they're motivated, and they're driven by an ideology that you and I should hate. Let's not beat around the bush. You know? I should hate it. I have a vested interest in that. My survival is at stake here. My interests are aligned with the interests of Western civilizations. That's how humans behave. Now, if Muslims take hold of Australia, I am gone, dead, beheaded. Okay? That's why it is against my interest for Islam to establish a strong foothold in this country. And so do you. Unless you want to grow a beard and look like the Taliban, or you want your daughters to wear burqas and niqabs, or you want your great civilization that was going to take us to Mars turned to shit. So, this is their plan. They have told us.
We have to be in the halls of Congress. We have to be in the newsrooms. We have to be in the classrooms. We have to be in the books. And we have to be in the courts and in the courts of public opinion. To do that,
like Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and another guy who's the star of this episode. And in the media, like Mehdi Hassan. Come on, guys, come on. It's all out in the open. How long are we going to stay asleep?
We have to be in the books, and we have to be in the courts, and in the courts of public opinion.
That's where I come in the courts of public opinion, to tell you not to fall for these clowns. Not clowns, actually. They're actually very serious players, guys. Very serious players. They know what they're doing. They know what they want. This is the reason why you need to be mindful of this guy. His name is Abdul Saleh, Michigan Democratic Senate primary winner, Abdul Al-Said. Democrats, yeah? The Democrats, when the history of this period is written, when the dust settles, when we win the war, when we preserve Western civilization, future historians will write off the Democratic Party of the US as a sellout, as a bunch of traitors. That's who they are, okay? They have given up on liberal principles. They have given up on secular principles. They have sold out to Islam for their own vested interest, by the way. It's not because they love Islamic values. They have their own other interests, which is to dismantle Western civilization and build something from the ground up, restart everything. That's what they want. They want anarchy. They want a communist socialist revolution in which they will create a socialist utopia that all socialist communists always think of or always promise. And then they will tackle Islam. But unfortunately, we are not hanging around to see what happens, okay? Because in my opinion, I think the Islamists will win. I think they will slay these communist socialists. But as I said, I'm not going to hang around until then, okay? We have to nip it in the bud now. This is the first battle and probably the last battle. Actually, no, there's not a battle. It's a war. Listen to this guy. My dear conservative Americans, I know the right is splintered and fractured because we have this new woke right that in their hatred for Israel and Jews, for some reason, they got in bed with these people. But that alliance is falling apart too, by the way. They form an alliance with these people. Look what happened to Mamdani. And also there are some liberal Jews as well who hate Israel and the whole Zionist movement. So what they do, they fall for these idiots. Look at them. Look what he's saying. This is exactly what Mamdani promised. He said, oh, I love Jews. I love Judaism. I just hate Zionism. Come on, you fell for it once. Are you going to fall for it again? Listen to this Islamist. He's a full-on Islamist and a jihadist.
AIPAC and Israel are not the same as Judaism and the Jewish people. I love Judaism and I love the Jewish people.
He doesn't. He doesn't. The Quran says Jews and Christians can't be friends, and he knows it. He's a Hafiz-e Quran, meaning he's memorized the whole Quran. This is a political narrative, which is the most viable, which is probably the most optimum way to continue their movement. Because well, what is he going to say? Oh, I hate Jews. If you say that, what's going to happen to you? You're not going to be elected because even a lot of people are going to say, what the hell are you doing? Oh, let me find the weakest position in you. Let me cause a rift amongst Jewish people, which is we hate Zionists because we can't support Zionism because, Muslims have to rule the Philistine. Muslims have to rule Philistine. So let's cause a divide amongst them. That will sell. And it has worked in the past. So why change the strategy?
I venerate Judaism and I venerate the Jewish people. I stand with Judaism and I stand with the Jewish people.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. His prophet on his deathbed cursed the Jews and Christians. He cursed the Jews and Christians. Don't you have to emulate your prophet? And by the way, this is why I said this is an actual lie. This guy is, again, maybe with Mamdani, some people thought that he's not a religious person. Maybe he might not know everything. I don't doubt it. So that's why I said, look, he might be a communist masquerading as a communist who's trying to marry his Islamic beliefs with his communism, or he's an Islamist pretending to be a communist to fool the left. Whichever. This guy is an Islamist. He's a Hafiz Quran. He's a native Arabic speaker. He knows what's written in the Quran. He knows 1400 years tradition from a Middle Eastern perspective, which is a lot harsher, which is built on hating the Jews. Jews, not Zionists, the Jews. Jewish people. And he knows it. So he's lying. He's like Mehdi Hassan. He's lying.
And And the single most dangerous thing that they've tried to tell us is that somehow they can extend the definition of anti-Semitism to include a foreign government and its leaders. I call bullshit. No. No. If you believe that anti-Semitism extends to include a foreign government and AIPAC, you are creating a dangerous circumstance.
Okay, let's hear
So
it.
it is important for us to recognize that we love Judaism and the Jewish people because we love people. And we love Palestinians and their rights because we love people.
They only love their rights and their agenda and their goals, which is the reason why the proof is in the pudding. Name me a Muslim country where minorities are living as good as they do in the West. Name me a single country. And even if you name Malaysia and Indonesia, they don't come remotely close to Western standards. Remotely close. I challenge it. Churches have burned down in Indonesia and Malaysia and Turkey too, by the way. Turkey turned Hagia Sophia into a mosque. A slap in the face of Christianity. And here in the West, we're turning churches into mosques. Name me a single Muslim country where minorities have it better than the West. Not a single country. Which is why all of this virtue signaling, all of this high and mighty talk is BS. It's BS. They hate the Jews. Zionists only showed up, 75 years ago? Then how come Islamic history is full of Jewish persecution? They're lying. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Again, you have to zoom out and look out. Look beyond your immediate perspective. What you've seen on the street, what you've seen on the news, zoom out. What I played you at the start. They have a plan. They have an agenda. We need to be in the corridors of power, in the corridors of Senate. That's where they need to be. We need to be in the media. We need to be in the movies. We need to be everywhere. This is what they need to do. This is it. This is it. They found a loophole. How to destroy the West from within. That's what they're doing.
And we love that our tax dollars get spent here, on schools here, and healthcare here, because we love people.
Oh, really? You know who's the second biggest recipient of US aid after Israel? Egypt. Why is he not campaigning that the United States should shut its foreign aid to Egypt? Why? Why should those tax dollars not be spent in America? In American schools, American hospitals. He doesn't care about America or its hospitals. He doesn't. This is just a way to harm Israel to further his Islamic agenda.
You cannot claim that human rights end at a border. You cannot claim that you want to invest in our kids when you send our money abroad to kill other people's kids. You cannot claim it.
No, no, that's how civilizations work. Superpowers, in order to maintain their world order, which is favorable to the West and America is not. America can't be blamed for looking out for its own interests. And when you have certain interests, you have allies because of common, mutual, shared values and interests. So it is in America's interest that Israel is not wiped out by you barbarians. That's why America gives money to Israel. It is in America's interest. And if your children die, then we have to have a look. Why is it the case? Oh, maybe you're missing a key fact here. You started a war. Your people started a war and you lost. You know what? When you make a bad military decision, then you don't get to cry victim when the dildo of consequences arrives unlubed. What's happening right now in Gaza is the dildo of consequences of your actions, of your decisions. But I haven't finished yet. So you know how this guy is simping for Jews and he's trying the age-old tested formula, which, by the way, as I said, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. But let me show you the real face of Islam and Muslims. Look at this. He is a famous Palestinian activist, Dr. Rahmeh Al-Adwan, Britain-based Muslim doctor, whose license has been suspended because of her anti-Semitism. Even the woke lefty bending over backwards British government thought that, okay, girl, calm down. So Muslims need to stop declaring love or affinity to Judaism. It's humiliating and wrong. That's true, guys. It's true. She knows it. She knows it. And you're telling me this guy who is the son of a Muslim Brotherhood operative does not know this, who has memorized the Quran by heart. He does not know this. He knows this. He knows this. We have more claim to Prophet Moses, peace be upon him. Yeah, their version of Moses is different from your version. Some parts have been appropriated, but irrelevant detail. We revere the true Torah, but your Torah is false. You know what? That's blasphemy, isn't it? When we say something about your Quran, these people go cavemen. They go, ah, I want to kill you. You did this to my Quran. But they insult the Torah, Bible. They insult it every day. It's saying it's fake. It's made up. It's not real. But we maintain complete theological disavowal, bara, of Judaism as an altered, abrogated creed. We do not love their religion, but our faith commands us to treat them with absolute, unyielding justice, which is live beneath our heel. That's what they mean by unyielding justice. Live beneath our heel. That's exactly what Muslims did for 1400 years, since 634 AD. That's when they conquered the present-day Israel. You see why this conflict arises? This conflict arises because their narrative has holes in it. The politicians, Muslim politicians, are on a tricky boat here. They have to speak like this. They have to. Mamdani has to speak like this. They have to do it because they have to go in the court of public opinion, and they have to win votes. And in order to do that, they have to lie. And why are they lying? Look at this. Actually, guys, there is a clip for everything. Listen to this. Don't believe me? Look at this. Right, two of the most prominent scholars of Muslims in the Western world are here telling you what this guy's doing.
Saying the politician is allowed,
Yes.
to compromise on some.
Not allowed. Not allowed. Not allowed. Okay?
Forgiven.
No.
I
The
could make-
politician, I'm telling you, the politician, I know that provokes many people more than the istighatha issue. The politician, in certain circumstances, must. Yes? I'm telling you, must lie.
Must lie.
Have you seen any politician who doesn't lie?
No, that's exactly my point.
Okay.
That's exactly my point. All politicians lie. Therefore, Muslims have to lie to advance the Islamic cause. That's exactly what this guy's doing here. That's exactly what he's saying. I love Judaism. I love Jews.
Creating a dangerous circumstance.
I love Jews. I love Judaism. They don't. As he's been rightly called out by this Palestinian activist, we don't love their religion. And let me give you a little bit more about this guy, who he is. This guy, his father-in-law is a top donor to an Al-Said super PAC, is among top leaders of Muslim Brotherhood organizations linked to terror funding. There is so much evidence of, it's not even a conspiracy theory, of the Islamic agenda that I don't understand how can anyone deny this. Yeah? You elected Mamdani. Mamdani's father wrote a book in which he said that it's about time we start looking at Muslim quote-unquote terrorists as freedom fighters. That's what he was basically saying. I'm paraphrasing his concept. That's what he said. And look, if you have people like that who have that kind of mentality, what do you think? What do you think they're going to create? How do you think they're going to serve? And that's why when their statements don't match the overall picture, then it means they are lying. Just like this guy. He loves Jews. Does the Muslim Brotherhood love Jews? No, they don't. There you go. Let me read some more. Abdul Al-Said, funded by a designated terror organization, accepted campaign donations and has ties to CARE. CARE, designated foreign terrorist organization by Texas governor, which is too late and it should be applied all across the US and Florida, Texas and Florida, but it needs to go all national and international. Named unindicted co-conspirator in Holy Land Foundation, largest Hamas terror financing trial in U.S. history. Now, if you are a conservative American and you'd see, oh, Hamas funded, okay, you know what? I'm not going to pay any attention because it involves Jews. Hamas only kills Jews. No, this is why we tell you, Israel is only the small devil. America is the big devil. So they're coming for you after Israel. That's why the American state defends Israel. It's like our frontier in that direction. Deep historical links to the Muslim Brotherhood network and Hamas network. FBI previously cut formal ties over terror connections. There you go. And this guy is running for office, running for Senate. Guys, there is no excuse to be asleep at the wheel. Islam is coming. It is coming at a ferocious speed. Everything that happens is going to happen in our lifetime. It is up to each and every one of us. As I said at the start of the video, if you put your civilization and country at the top, unless you're antithetical to it, for example, there is a movement amongst African Americans who say, you know, they don't like it, but the vast majority that I've seen, whatever issues they may have, they still want to operate under America. America as we know it. In their view, it can improve and refine. That's fine. But they don't want it to be replaced with Islam. Islam still hasn't settled the issue of slavery. They haven't. All Muslim countries, all Middle Eastern Muslim countries, they don't have slavery because the West forced them to abolish it. Saudi Arabia had slavery until 1968. Mauritania had it until 2005. If Islam becomes the dominant force of the world, you will see slavery make a comeback. And this time it won't just be the Africans. It will be everyone. Well, actually, Eastern Europeans millions of East Europeans were enslaved by the Ottomans. The Ottomans were only forced by the Brits to let go, to end slavery, because of which the Grand Mufti of Hijaz, present-day Saudi Arabia, the most sacred place in Islam, even though politically it might become irrelevant, but it remained relevant religiously. It remained relevant throughout the last 1400 years, because Muslims will still have to go to Mecca for their annual pilgrimage when they circumambulate that rock. And then they say they don't worship anything. They don't worship idols. Anyway, so the Grand Mufti of Hijaz declared a fatwa on the life of the Sultan, because the Sultan had given up. So the Sultan said, oh, you know what? Okay, you know what? We can't. Slavery will continue in the Hijaz region, Yemen, the UAE, and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And it had remained there until 1968, because the Brits said, oh, you know what? Okay, fine, you guys tried. And the Muslims who are coming for the West, they're not the Indonesians, they're not the Malaysians. They are of the worst kind, the North Africans and the Middle Easterns. They are so radical that even the Middle Eastern countries don't want them in their countries. So when they tell you, Malaysia, Indonesia, look, they're okay, those Muslims are not trying to take over the West. It's the North Africans. It's the Middle Eastern ones. The Wahhabi ones, the most hardcore ones. They're the ones who are trying to take over. What do you think? What kind of Islam they're going to bring? So it's not only the question of Islam is going to win, and we might have some hope. There might be some Indonesian or Malaysian lipstick Muslims who will rule over us. No, it'll be the ISIS and the Taliban kind who are trying to take over. So wake up.